Well, I've been thinking a lot about this coronavirus, as I'm sure everybody has, and how it's impacted our lives, of course, globally, in our country, our state, and our community, and the impact it's had on people's lives and what it will continue to have on our lives even long after it's finally run its course. And it's caused a lot of stress and fear, anxiousness, a lot of elevated anxiety, which is could have a long-term impact on the bodies. So what can we do about that? As I thought about it, I thought of the postgraduate course I took quite a number of years ago. I believe it was biophysiology. I could be wrong. It was a long time ago, but I do remember the content of that course very well. It's a lot about the nervous system, the two different main components of the nervous system, this somatic, which is the voluntary muscles, raising my arm, closing my hand, lowering my arm, and also on the autonomic nervous system, which is that nervous system regulates the involuntary movements in the body, involuntary actions, such as digestion, heart rate, our respiratory rate, things which impact the blood pressure, our immune system, etc., the secretion of hormones and enzymes. So it really is a lot to do with how our body reacts that we don't even think about typically on a conscious level. And that autonomic nervous system is split into two different components. And I thought, well, why don't I take a different perspective of today's class? Instead of how I traditionally do it, the Chinese perspective, 5 elements theory, yin and yang, qi gathering and circulating in the body, instead take a Western perspective and take a look at those two different autonomic nervous system components. One is the sympathetic, which Hans Selye did the adaptive syndrome, whatever it later became known as the fight or flight. And that fight or flight is triggered when we feel ourselves under attack. And this could be a physical, or it can be emotional, it can be something imaginary, it can be real, but it's an attack to the body, which causes us to then secrete some hormones and some enzymes, which elevates the blood pressure, elevates our pulse rate, etc., which is very necessary in short-term situation, but if in a long-term situation, can be detrimental to us. Lower the immune system, make us more susceptible to the bacteria and viruses coming after us. 80% of the diseases are psychosomatic. I've read that many different times, which means they come from the mind. In other words, we trigger that autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic branch, and in the long term, it lowers the immune system and makes us very susceptible to different kinds of diseases and ailments. But there is another half of that autonomic nervous system called the parasympathetic, also known as the rest and digest, or the relax and repair. That's the one we want to have to help us to booster the immune system, to release the white blood cells when necessary, the lymphocytes, to help us bring down the blood pressure, reduce the heart rate, lower our respiratory rate, really help us to get to the point where we can do the relax and repair. We can get into that parasympathetic nervous system really pretty simply. And we can do that through just how we breathe, through breath work, through our mental focus, of course, what we're thinking about, where the mind is at. And that can be enhanced or enabled by our movements, our body movements. And when you think about it, well, that really is breath, mind, body, movement, posture. That's the core for Qigong. So I'm going to take us through a relatively simple Qigong exercise to help move us in to that parasympathetic side of the nervous system, to help us get to the point where we can relax, get rid of the stress, trigger the immune system response where it's necessary and when it's necessary. Really enable us to deal with the things that are going on and actually maybe get us a better frame of mind. So to do that, and this could be done seated, but I definitely prefer standing. If you are not able to, that's fine. It'll still work. So to do this exercise, though, before we begin, let's do this simple thing, which I like to begin my classes with. In fact, this whole exercise is how I usually begin the class to enter that Qigong state. But it's very effective to continue on even to a moving meditation. But to begin with, let's take everything from the past, everything we were thinking about before we started watching this, everything before we wanted to begin our Qigong practice. This is our past. And it's the palm of this hand. And in this hand, holding the palm straight up, we've got the future, what we intend to do after we're through with our practice, our thoughts of going on in the future, our plans, etc. Got them in the palms of the hands. And what we're going to do is let them slide right off, past, future, bring the hands together in this prayer type posture. And where they meet is the current moment, our present moment. Bringing it up so the thumbs can lightly touch the heart. I'm going to take a nice long, slow, deep breath. Hold it for as long as it's comfortable, and then slowly release it. Again, a long, slow, deep breath. Abdomen comes out, deeper breath as you can take. And hold it, and again exhale, a nice slow. And as you exhale, let the body relax. Let the shoulders relax like ice melting into water. Another same breath. And as you exhale, let go of the tension. Let go of the stress, relax. One more, same breath. Hold it, and this time as we exhale, we're going to sink down into the center of our bodies. The hands come down. Now this very simple motion called the flowing motion. I actually do this every day. What we do is to raise the hands up, inhaling. Exhale, let the palms go down. And as we do this, we're only going to think about the breath. Inhale, exhale. Hands come down just past the center line of the body. Inhale, hands come up just above the shoulders. And they float. The hands float up, you're in the water, and the hands just float up. And then you let them come down. You can feel some minor resistance traveling through the water, but you relax. No muscles involved, they just float up and down. I'm going to coordinate this with my breath. You coordinate it with yours, but we do not have to do it at the same speed. We don't all breathe at the same speed. So take as long, slow, deep an inhalation and exhalation as you can. Just focusing on the breath. And we'll begin a rocking motion. Palms up towards the heavens, and we're going to rock forward, heels slightly off the ground. Hands facing towards the earth. Heels come down. We're going to rock slightly back, the toes just off of the ground. Heels are just off the earth. Heels come down and take the toes slightly off of the earth. We rise up, feel the whole body rise. Hands come down, feel yourself sink into the earth. Knees slightly bent. The body rises up, way up. It's like we're beginning to float up in the air, maybe floating way up in the water, rising up above our troubles and then coming back down to the earth, grounded in the earth, grounded in the earth. Up towards the sky, flowing up. Feel the body rise, light as can be. We do so, we're going to relax when we inhale, body's light, floating, relaxing further as we exhale. Allowing that shift. In our bodies, our minds, from what's going on around us to where we are right here in this very present moment. One more time. And the hands are on front. Circle the palms pointed towards the lower dantian, the lower elixir field. Just below the navel, relax. And here we're just going to like float, keeping up that water analogy. We're floating. Just feel yourself float and feel any sensations in the body. Feel any stress, just let it go. Breathe normal. Bring the hands to that lower dantian. Just hold them. So we're going to really seal in that energy, that chi, that vital life force that we've gathered. Lingering a little longer in this relaxed state, allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to take over and allow the body to relax and repair. And this is a simple exercise that you can do at any time. You can make it into a meditation. You can do it very, very slowly, much as slow as your breath will allow you to take. And for as long as you want, 20 repetitions, 50 repetitions. And just thinking about only the movements and the breath, the lightness, letting go of all of the anxiety and all the fears as your body becomes light and your mind becomes light. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found this helpful. Stay safe and healthy.